If you do not putt in your round with a handful of putters in your hand, then get them out of there. Practice how you play. Now let's go toss some plastic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm coming at you guys with another tip and trick video, just a little advice from me to you. I know you guys enjoy them, and today we are going to focus on being efficient when you are practicing. Now, what I mean by that is we're going to go down two different roads today on this video. One is going to be about your putting practice, and the other one, well, tee shots. I don't want to waste any of your guys' time today, so we are going to jump right into it. And the first thing that I want to talk about is putting practice. Now, you may not agree with anything I say, and you may have heard differently from somebody else. That's the beauty of it. I can share my knowledge. You can choose which pieces of information you want to take out and try to apply. It could be none of it, it could be all of it. So let's get started. One thing that is very common to see when you roll up to the disc golf course at the practice basket is somebody putting with a stack of putters in their hand this big, just trying to bang out as many reps as they can. And my advice to you guys, stop doing that. If you really want to take disc golf seriously and get competitive in it, then guys, you need to practice like you play, just like with any other sport. And I know there are some of you weirdos out there that do putt with an entire stack of putters in your hand, but most of you don't. So why would you practice that way? That is the question that I am proposing to you guys. You may have just done a ton of practicing in your backyard. You get in a nice little routine, a nice little rhythm. You get to the course, and on hole one, you get to your first putt and it looks like this. And you wonder what happened. You should look at putting just like a free throw in basketball. You want to constantly practice, go through your routine each and every putt. So again, guys, that's why I tell you, just get rid of the stack of putters unless that's how you're gonna putt in your round. Now, when I get to the practice basket, I only ever bring two putters, and it's the same two putters that I keep in my bag with me every single round. And when I step up to practice my putting, I take one, I leave it on the ground because when I putt in my round, I don't hold the disc in my hand. I think it's rather uncomfortable and it's just not as fluid. And then I take my time, go through my routine, get with my putt, and now I have to bend over to get my next disc. And when you do that, you're forcing your body to completely reset. So you're gonna go through your entire routine again. Now, when you have one putter in your hand and you go through your routine like you would on the course and you miss, you can usually tell in your form where you may have got a little lazy. The problem is when you have a whole stack of putters, when you go and you miss one, you're not resetting, you're not going through your form, you're just trying to adjust from your previous throw. So each putt is just an adjustment of your last putt. It's not focusing on your form, which when you're putting, guys, form is the most important part. The takeaway points of our little session here, if you are not on the course putting with a handful of putters in your round, then just get rid of them and practice how you play. Also, guys, force yourself to completely reset in between putts, and that way if you have a putt go astray, something's not feeling right, you dissect it in your form. You do not try to adjust from putt to putt. And I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. You can get 10 times the reps having this giant stack of putters in your hand. And yes, that is 100% true. If that's the way that works for you, then keep going with it. But what I propose is, do you want quantity or do you want quality? I will choose quality every time because then that translates to consistency. Now we're gonna gather up our things, we're gonna head over to the tee pad, and we're gonna take a lot of these same fundamentals and apply them there. This course does not have tee pads, so I'm gonna do the safe and responsible thing that anybody else would and use this giant slotted drain cover as my tee pad for this explanation. Now for me, when I step up to the tee pad, the first thing that I'm gonna look at is the footage and if if there's no tee sign, I will use my rangefinder. I know a lot of people think that rangefinders are unnecessary, but if you want to really improve on the game, you're going to need one. It is that simple. Once we get our footage, that's going to immediately narrow us down to a handful of discs that number works well for. And the second thing you're going to do is look for your lines. And depending on what your line is that you're trying to shoot, should narrow you down to 1, maybe 2 discs that you need for the shot. And one thing that we've all seen over and over and over and have done over and over ourselves, don't lie, is you'll step up to the tee pad, you're going to go through your shot routine, and then you're going to get a very unpleasant result because we just hit that tree right in front of us. And then the first thing you do is you want to turn around, grab that second disc, rush through your tee shot routine, throw it, and then you hit the tree again. I understand it's very frustrating. You know you can do better and you want to do better, so then you just rush it. But in times like this, when you hit that early tree, my favorite thing that I always love to say is that it's time to take your medicine. Throwing more than 1 disc off the tee pad is not always a bad thing, guys, but it is when you're trying to take a disc that wasn't meant for that shot and forcing it to do it. If you want to try 2 different lines off the tee pad with 2 different discs best suited for those lines, absolutely do that. It is good and it is efficient practice. If you've reached in the bag more than 2 times, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that third disc you're grabbing is probably not made for the shot, but you know you can force it to make the shot. You need to be able to distinguish those 2 things because one of them over the long term is going to get you that consistency and the other one is going to be the opposite and it's going to prove to be wildly inconsistent. And listen, if your tee shot was so bad that you can quickly go pick it up, just do it. It's going to be more effective to take the disc that you know is right for the situation, resetting and attempting that tee shot again before reaching for others in the bag. And like I said, I know a lot of you guys are going to think that this is a very slow way of practicing, but it is very efficient. When I'm working on my approach shots, I will take my 3 approach discs that I have, put myself in different positions where that disc is needed, make the throw, and then I walk all the way up there, pick them up and walk all the way back. And in that time, you can kind of think of where you may have went wrong in your form. You can address it and then apply it to your next session. I hope this video can help you guys improve your disc golf game. And if you enjoyed it, please take a second, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. It helps the channel out tremendously. And always remember, the most important rule is to just have fun. So now get outside, get to the course, and now it's your turn to go toss some plastic.